Hi everyone. So I hope you guys had an absolutely amazing Christmas this year. Now, I can't believe it's been 3 months already since we started focusing on the thing that we're focusing on today. Now, 3 months ago, we started looking at the Laughing Horses Orifice Headquarters website. And I said I'd give you guys monthly updates about this website. But obviously it didn't happen. So here we are today, 2 episodes in after 3 months. I thought I'd do something a little bit, shall we say, kinda, for the end of the new year. And yeah, I didn't really feel like covering anything too overpowering, overwhelming, that kind of stuff, because we've had a lot on over the last week. There's obviously been the, I won't call it drama, there's been the exposed thing that we did, which is actually going quite well so far, I must say. There's a lot of people who have supported the video. Other content creators have spoken about it, big ones, which is absolutely amazing, and I can only hope more people speak about the person who I exposed in the last video. We won't name his name because obviously he needs no more exposure. I've said my piece and that is it. So I thought we'd focus on something a little bit less serious. Now, in the last episode, in the last Laughing Orifice Headquarters episode, I promised you guys that we would check out those weird named videos. Yeah, so we're going to do that today. So with that in mind, I will take you guys over to the computer and we'll go and watch some weird, funky videos. So as you can probably tell, we're not at a computer. No, I had a problem with the videos and getting the videos to work. Every time I'd play one, it would buffer for like, well, it'd play and then buffer for about 5 seconds every 2 seconds. So I thought, you know what, I'll just go ahead and download them all instead. Just download them all from this really weird website. Because what can go wrong, right? So yeah, that's the only thing I could do to make these videos work. And that was to, download them. So here we are. I'm just gonna explain them and run through them, because honestly they weren't as exciting as I'd hoped they'd be. There was no like action or fake gore or exciting movie scenes or anything like that. There was nothing like that. If I had to say what they were, I would say they were basically art projects, as you'll soon find out. So each of these videos, these 5 videos, were basically a short movie with some kind of hidden background story. There's probably some kind of moral to each one, but I'm not smart enough to work that out, nor do I really want to bother trying to work it out. And each video ends with the LHOHQ logo, and each one has a little bit of an intro right at the start of the video. And I know this won't be a very long video, as I've probably spent more time just talking than actually explaining these videos. So with that in mind, let's begin. We'll start off with the shortest clip and work our way up to the longest clip. So the first clip was called How to Overcome Insomnia and Sleep Deeply.
I'm not washing my hands because they are dirty, but because of my OCD. The OCD won this round, but next time, I'll wait longer.
This clip is basically a 2-minute video with instructions on how to sleep. Now in hindsight this sounds pretty normal, but there is of course a video playing while this person's telling you how to fall into a deep sleep. And believe me, it's a video you probably won't fall into a deep sleep watching. The video playing is basically a woman tied up, covered in fake blood, I guess you can say being groped by two men. There's nothing overly sexual or pornographic, there's no nudity, it's just two men sort of touching a woman while she's tied up. She's not screaming or crying or anything like that, she's just in this sort of catatonic state. And this is basically the whole video, until at some point she's basically lying on a floor. It shows her close up with blood running out of her mouth. Fake blood, of course. It's not any sort of fetish style video, it's just some kind of horror-esque art style video. The next video is called The Pond. Now I can't actually show everything from this 6-minute clip, because there are boobs in it. It starts off with some very gypsy-like music, and shows this quite attractive woman, and she starts singing about apples, of all things. Now this man here, who picks this woman up on a bike in the middle of the road, ends up having some kind of bike crash, and he's basically escorted into the middle of these woods that this woman's in, while he eats one of these apples that this woman sings about. There's this big large man who basically escorts him into the woods. Now not long after we're shown this couple here, the man gets up and walks away into what I can only presume is the same forest that this woman is in and what these two men are heading towards. He then hops into this pool filled with women, and the apple woman also makes an appearance in this pool, and basically these women all crowd around him and start to try and feed him a lot of apples, like a lot of apples. We then cut to the big man and the car crash man, followed by some women who are in their underwear, who are basically running around this circle of fire until they see the big man and the car crash man walking through the forest. Now, in a weird turn of events, the bike crash man ends up meeting with the man who went in the pool with all these women, and for some strange reason they're eating an apple, and they place the apple in between the mouths of each other, and share some kind of fruity kiss, like an apple-y kiss that probably tasted like apples and spit. It sort of gave me these Adam and Eve sort of vibes, you know, like religious vibes, with this man obviously being Adam and the women being Eve, except it's sort of in reverse. So the man is sinning and he's eating the apple, where all the bad things happen to these men who sin, and basically Eve, the women, are all happy and carefree. Anyway, that's my view on it. I know I said I was shit at morals, but here we are. I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know though, it is an LHOHQ video. Could mean anything. Now the third video is called Kale Vengula. I don't know if I pronounced that right. Now obviously this one's based around some kind of Greek or Roman god. It's all about Caesar and his romantic fling with his sister. Basically he and his sister are both trying to find a bride or groom each. Now don't be fooled, because you seem to think that this is set in the ancient times, like ancient Greece or ancient Rome, but it turns out it's actually set in modern day. Nothing really interesting happens apart from Caesar and his sister touching each other and whatnot. Nothing too, again, overly sexual, but that's basically the whole video. for about 6 minutes. It turns out that this is of course set in modern day. There's a guy wearing glasses and another guy wearing tracksuit pants, and I don't think they had Specsavers or designer glasses in the Roman times, unless history has failed me. And yeah, I actually did fail history in school. Anyway, Caesar ends up falling for another woman who isn't his sister. So I guess you can call that a good ending. Space Girl. You're basically launched into this clip with a close-up of a horse's arsehole. Aside from that, it starts off very calm, starts off very serene. There are some people farming in a field close by. There's also some horses grazing. Do horses graze? I don't know. And there's also a few pigs. As you can tell, we're on a farm. The scene quickly changes when we see a gold woman covered in glitter sleeping in a barn. Now she manages to leave this barn and she comes out wearing something that David Bowie would probably wear. So she basically starts playing around with these two goats until a couple of these farmers who were in the field then come out of this field. We're also shown two other people. Now for some reason shit goes down. This guy here gets a slap and this lady then goes running off. We've then got this random man here. I've never seen him before in my life. He's basically smoking a cig, and David Bowie comes up to him. She's then shown rubbing blood into the faces of a couple of these men in a cut that she's somehow received in this 9-minute clip, in which the women of this video look at her with, well, it's a look of pure jealousy. She's then doing some spiritual stuff on a mat, in which the men who had the blood put onto their faces join her in some kind of prayer. And by the end, I guess the women get so fed up with her that they just end up killing her off. And she just sort of vanishes, and that's it. Goodbye Zombie. This is by far the weirdest video of the 5, and this one is 18 minutes long. This basically starts off with a woman dancing around wearing this really realistic bunny mask. It's soon followed by a woman in a nurse outfit hugging a tree and going round and round this tree, followed swiftly by her rolling around on the floor. And we're then given a bit of colour in this clip, with people wearing all sorts of different wacky animal masks, holding hands and skipping round a tree. Now Bunny Woman is actually joined by some of her friends. You've got Goat Man and you've got, I think, Duck Man. It's all filmed and it's very blurry. I'm pretty good at naming my farm animals, but this was just a bit of a joke. There's also weird zombie people dancing around this sort of pole thing. Now these same zombie people end up walking through this graveyard. It's a bit like Michael Jackson's Thriller if it went wrong. It's made to be very eerie and tense, but it just comes out as something that you'd have a hard time explaining to your family if they caught you watching it. It's obviously got this very old movie style look to it. Just ends up being a bit silly. The zombies also start playing in a kid's playground as well, and then we just get this really sudden, weird gothic vibe. The whole video is basically just a zombie dance party. You also see Russell Brand rolling through some leaves. There's also some weird zombie swimming in a pool with these massive teeth Some of you might call it a British zombie. Don't worry, I'll make that joke first. These 5 videos are just very, very weird things to witness. Very weird things. They just seem to be artsy, sort of horror-esque style movies, I suppose, with some kind of hidden meaning, because they seem to have been done by LHOHQ themselves. Though I can't confirm that, and I would like to know if there's any sources for any of these videos, because they're quite interesting, I must say. And that's basically it, that's all I can give you. Happy New Year, because it's going to be the first when this goes up. So, first video of 2024. I hope you guys have a brilliant year. Thank you so much for all the love and support recently. Let's make 2024 pretty damn good. Maybe. Stay safe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.